up your guns either. And our nation is greater today than it has ever been. Stronger, richer, we're doing better than ever before. We are great Americans. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you. We believe in the rule of law, and we will always protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And there are some people that are running right now, I don't think they have that #1 on their list. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we believe in the right to self-defense and the right to protect your family, your community, and your loved ones. We believe in the wisdom of our founders, and we believe in freedom and liberty and the right to keep and bear arms. We know that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. And above all else, we know this: in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Every day of my administration, we are taking power out of Washington, D.C., and returning it to the American people where it belongs. And you see it now better than ever with all of the resignations of bad apples. They're bad apples. They tried for a coup, didn't work out so well. And I didn't need a gun for that one, did I? All was taking place at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. You've been watching, you've been seeing, you've been looking at things that you wouldn't have believed possible in our country. Corruption at the highest level, a disgrace. Spying, surveillance, trying for an overthrow, and we caught him. We caught him. Who would have thought in our country? But it's called what we all together have done. Started 2.5 years ago on that great November 8th. That was a great day. Remember that day? Great day. And in 1.5 years, we have one called November 3rd. It's November 3rd this time. Get ready to vote. You better. You better get ready to vote. But it's all called draining the swamp, and we are doing it faster than anyone ever thought possible. Very proud of it. America's future has never been brighter. And yet Democrats have never been angrier, especially now that their collusion delusion has been exposed to the world as a complete and total fraud. It's been the greatest political hoax ever in our country. Instead of working with us to rebuild our infrastructure, lower drug prices, which, by the way, this year, for the first time in 50 years, drug prices went down. Far-left radicals in Congress want to take away your voice, your jobs, your rights, and they especially want to take away your guns. You know that. They want to take away your guns. You better get out there and vote. And confiscating existing guns from law-abiding citizens. What they don't tell you is the bad guys aren't giving up their guns. And you're not going to be giving up your guns either.
All right. Welcome to the Patriot Hour. We got Woodman joining in. Welcome, brother.
Everybody. Great, fantastic. Yourself.
All right, all right. What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that Trump? What was he up in Indianapolis? Was that Thursday night, I believe? Thursday night? I think it was.
Could have been Friday. Anyway, it was fantastic, man. Made a lot of great points. And the neat thing is he thanked all the American people for being patriots. Great, huh? Great.
Yes.
Recognition all over the place. Fantastic.
How about that little collage I just put together? He almost lays out the whole narrative for us of deep state corruption. We've known it. Bad apples, bad actor. I mean, a lot of key words there kind of blending in with the whole Q narrative. Don't you think a little bit there?
Well, yeah. And, you know, if people have been watching the show or following along, we've been discussing a lot of these points throughout time, you know, about how President Trump didn't cram it down the nation's neck as far as information goes or whatever, and didn't start firing people and going crazy, didn't put Hillary Clinton in prison, He let them hang themselves, and I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of the man, and it's his time to shine. Therefore, he should be saying these things, you know. And there's, like he said, there's more things coming out in the future also, you know.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Well, what do you think of possible, like the last Q post talked about chain of custody, chain of command, chain of custody, you know, like when, you know, I think you were an MP in the Army by rate, weren't you? That like when you have evidence, there's a chain of custody of evidence. If any of that falls outside of the law or the lines of how it can be tampered evidence, it can be inadmissible in court. There's all these rules. So as much as people wanted Trump to come in and on day one, like slam Hillary against the wall, and Trump's going to whip out handcuffs and handcuff her, which is totally outside of the realm of a president. You know, all you can do is maybe order your FBI, but they're going to be like, well, what do you have there, Trumpy, for us to go arrest her on? She just went through a fair investigation with all of us, you know, and we didn't find anything. You know, it's like, so this much higher than the optics, folks, of just arresting somebody, like pulling them over for speeding. There was a lot of things that had to be looked at.
Like President Trump was saying too, when they I should say, talked to Hillary Clinton, there was no such thing as taking everything. When the FBI comes in and wants your stuff, wants information, they take everything. DNC just pretty much told the FBI, get the hell out of here. What is that all about? I mean, now come on. Everybody needs to wake up on that. That came out in public. So we need to they're hanging themselves, people, and I think really President Trump is patting himself on the back, and I am really glad about that. And he always mentions about how we are taking our country back. Not him, not his government. It's we are taking the country back. It's our country. You know, he's talking about the money we're starting to make now, and it's intense, you know. This is not a waste of time, people. He's really doing a great job. And like he was saying, you know, he knows he only got like 6 more years. So, you know, when he does leave office, he's going to leave it in a very, very good shape, you know.
I agree. I mean, he can't, You can't dispute what's happening, folks, and what we're seeing here. I mean, the words coming out, scripted or teleprompter or not. It's I mean, it almost seemed like a collage. The one up in Indianapolis at the NRA. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just like I've heard a lot of that before out of him. As far as this is corrupt. It goes all the way to the top. I mean, when he says those kind of words, you can only imagine. I'm starting to really, and I've known this, but it's not so much about Hillary. They're protected Hillary. Hillary didn't go down because it involves Obama all the way up to the last president. It's going to taint that administration so bad. This is huge, folks. Very, very, very huge. And you're hearing the president say it. We can preach this. If you think about it, in the big scheme of things, Woodman, like, if you talk to people like, whoa, where do you come up with all this stuff? Who else is saying these same things that you're saying? You're just a conspiracy. It's like, well, actually, kind of, President of the United States kind of rambles these same things that you're saying or I'm saying. And, well, who's he and who are you? It's like, well, this guy's kind of got, when you listen to him, like on Hannity, that one, or he talked for 48 minutes, that's Trump. That's the real Trump. He's on the phone, and he almost maybe says too much, but he has access, folks. The media doesn't. All right, the media doesn't have access to all this top secret. I mean, Trump's able to see everything already, and without declassifying it yet, because of systematic court proceedings and investigations that are going on, he can only kind of reference and act like, I don't know, call it wisdom that I have, maybe some wisdom. Call it wisdom. You can call it that he's looking at things that you or I can't see, and the media, here you got the military and Trump saying something's an invasion, but the media tells you, nah, what do they know? That's just the high-ranking generals and some Trump. Listen to us. We're the media. I mean, you gotta really think this out here. Crazy.
Right.
So,
right. Oh yeah.
What else? You said he talked up in Wisconsin. Was that Saturday night? Was that last night, folks? Somebody can tell us in the comments.
Yeah, that was Saturday night, and that was really great because during the speech, of course, it was like jam-packed. This place was jam-packed. I guess people stood outside like over 24 hours just to get into the place. It was jam-packed. Oh yeah. Now, in Wisconsin, they've been doing a lot of changes, and he brought out and made people stand up to be recognized for the work they've been doing in that state to get it straightened around. I mean, we're talking about paper mills, loggers, all kinds of things that this state really kind of relies on, which they've been trying to get. Somebody's been trying to cut him off, which would be the old governor they had. But anyway, this is all time for a change, and the speech he had in Wisconsin just spelled out so much. I hope people watch that. It spelled out so much.
Should I go through and get a tidbit of that, like all the key points, and maybe do a collage like I did for the NRA one, get it down to 10 minutes, or I don't know, how long was that one, an hour? Did you watch the whole thing? Was it about an hour, 45 minutes? I mean,
it was a long time, but here's the thing. He recognized so many people that you might have to watch at least probably 10% of it anyway, because there were so many people being recognized for all the work they're doing. And he's saying, this country's not being turned around by me. It's being turned around by you. You people are taking your country back. It belongs to you. All these rights belong to you. All your freedom,
They're just showing us the way, waking us back up to know what it's about. I mean, by the way, do you have your popcorn on hand still? People are commenting in here. By the way, welcome L1978. We got our mods in here. Amy, the mod, and L, like I said, L. Make sure you're subscribed to both Amy and L1970. Yes, we see that. Hold on. Put it back up there, Woodman. I think we missed it. Just joking. There we go. Boom. Little Orville Redenbacher. Not a paid ad by any means, but how about this? Yeah. So I'm normal as well. I got my Orville, I think, Orville as well, movie theater downstairs, but I did pick up some gourmet. I was out and about over the last couple days, and I was up in Wisconsin at one point, stationed when I was up in Great Lakes, Chicago, North Chicago, finishing up, years ago, but I lived about 40 minutes away in Wisconsin, so I got used to their cheeses and all this stuff. But this one popcorn I fell in love up there with, and you can sometimes find it trickling this way. It's just rule one, but this is some gourmet, some Chicago style. This has got like cheddar cheese and caramel.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to save that for like Comey, when maybe Comey goes down. I got the jalapeno cheese popcorn. This is, again, just really, really good gourmet here. So jalapeno cheese, everybody. I'll probably have that for maybe Clinton. And then I got the caramel sea salt popcorn. This is just, I don't know, maybe give it to my kids or for the grand finale. But some gourmet popcorn there, folks.
Mike, it's going to be a long time before we have the grand finale, brother. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I love your popcorn assortment there. That's fantastic. What I'm going to have to do is try and coordinate with you so I can come over and help you indulge in that specialized popcorn for special events. Because
yes,
there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of them. So, again, too, like President Trump was saying the other day about things are draining the swamp. Things are changing a lot faster than everybody thought they would. He's draining the swamp, people. He really is, and he has help. Not from the swampsters. They're in trouble. They're running. They're scrambling. We're a very lucky country. And he was talking about how the rest of the world is like looking up to us because we're doing what we're doing,
So now he talked about, this started a long time ago, about 2.5 years ago, on November 8th. So, of course, I think November 8th, that was the time he tweeted. So I looked up November 8th tweets, and that's the deplorable tweet that he tweeted, plus with that picture where he labeled it "Do It Q." So I had put that in the video. I thought that was interesting. Other than that's when he won the election, folks. I think we all voted throughout the day, and then the election results came. But draining of the swamp, yes, we've seen it. All the bigwigs all over the world have stepped down. People in political realm, and like you said, Woodman, in the past on other shows, once these people typically get in, it's a throne for life. They fight and cheat and cut deals to stay in these positions. Nobody ever just walks away. Sometimes, but that's what we've seen. Lots of people, I'm not running again, and they're just leaving.
Well, most of them have to resign.
Yeah, either they're forced or they're... Yes, some of the deals they've cut, maybe possibly we're not knowing about. I mean, folks, there's been a lot of ruckus up in the front end, but what about all these investigations that got brought up by Trump in the Hannity conversation? Huber and Horowitz, the IG, we're waiting. We're supposed to get that in mid-May-ish. It's looking at how the FBI handled the whole thing, which we already see. It's really bad. These text messages, the collusion, the Russia collusion with... That's what's blowing my mind, is the whole Russia-Trump collusion, that none of it led back to the Clintons or the DNC, which we know it did, but we just didn't get to hear about it. So that must have got... Well, that must have been a line out, like what we were all to know about was Trump, Russia. That was it. Even though there's lines that went outward, that's where these other IG and investigative guys have been. And since it's still under investigation, they didn't mention any of it in the release of what we got. That's plain and simple.
It's like President Trump was saying that that committee, the investigating committee, consisted of 10, 15 mad Democrats.
Oh, yeah. 13 angry at first, 13 angry Democrats, but I think it got upgraded to about 15, 18, 19, 20, something around there.
Yeah, angry Democrats. And here's the thing, that's why they didn't release any of that information, but, it's going to come out anyhow because it has to. They've opened that can of worms, and President Trump's not going to put the lid on it until he figures out what's really going on. Not what they're saying or trying to portray, or, gosh, they even, when you frame a president of the United States, you got to have your arms cut off. Come on.
Yeah. And I keep
Not only
finding
the president, but all of his people also. I mean, they're all on board on. If you're on President Trump's team, they just want to get rid of you. Are you kidding me? Uh,
I
they,
find it funny that they keep acting like Trump shouldn't be talking about these people. Like when they're like, what do you think about Trump tweeting or talking about the Democrat? Oh, he shouldn't be talking about, Mueller or but it's like, well, you guys shouldn't be, he shouldn't spread this or that before. It's like, well, that's exactly what happened to him with the Russia thing. Maybe you guys shouldn't have went around spreading that. The media shouldn't have went around spreading that. He did it. But
they've done it to him for 2.5 years.
That's what I'm saying. And they get really offended if he says anything about anybody in particular, but everyone said everything about him that they've wanted to say, lie or not, for 3 years now. But one by one, when they question people like, what do you think about Trump saying that? I don't think that's why he shouldn't be president, because he talks and he says things that are hurtful. And it's like, well, all humans do it. You're only going to take so much abuse from a coworker, but till you tell them to, go F off maybe, or something very unpleasant, or you ignore them, or you do things to, how much do you take? Well, the president has to be different than that,
Right,
and most of the time you can be presidential, folks, all you want on the cameras or whatever, but bottom line, you're still a human and you have emotion. And bottom line is Trump don't take no crap. He gives it right back. And the media has been unfair. It's been really unfair. I mean, haven't you seen that, Woodman, now in the last 6 months or a year, if you've been, kind of paying attention?
It's been more than 6 months. But I have to tell you something, Mike. This kind of information we talk about all the time, you have done a super tremendous job of trying to put all this stuff together and being correct. Sometimes people get in this position you're in and they get sucked into a bad little realm. You have done nothing but being a total patriot, and I have to thank you, and I think the whole world thanks you for bringing out the information that you do, when you do it, and how you do it,
Well, again, I got a text just to bring up that whole point. I'm glad you brought that up. I got an email, and I don't know who it is, and I could probably go back. My phone is not right here. It's downstairs, so scratch that, and I don't want to mess with the computers right now. We're running pretty good. We got a good stream, by the way, folks. We got about 180 in the room. Thanks for joining. But you brought up a good point. Somebody emailed me, and I saw it late last night, and they're like, hey, your video earlier, and it was one I did yesterday called Treason, and I had the picture of it was treason, and it was talking about a Hillary Clinton aide. I read an article. I read a collection of stuff off the internet, and it's off of Operation Disclosure website. And it's just a bunch of statements, about 20 statements. And one of them was Hillary Clinton aide pleads guilty. Then there was a link. I showed that link, and I read this little article. And this guy flooded me in. And then there's a vlog going over on the Vote website about that video. And people are calling, oh, you better correct yourself. That whole article's wrong. And it could be, but at the beginning of that episode, I even said, think for yourself, do for yourself what we go over. Sometimes there's going to be garbage that isn't accurate. So I'm glad that was pointed out. Do I need to do a whole video on something that was inaccurate? No, I think you guys just did your job, and me right now commenting on that guy and me saying that there probably was something inaccurate in yesterday's video. Folks, oh my gosh, when we go over a lot of intel, Woodman is prior military, I'm prior military, and in the intelligence communities, you're going to read a lot of garbage sometimes. You have to be able to file that and use your discernment and connect your own dots, and yes, we're a team. So I appreciate that guy emailing, bringing it to my attention, and there you go. There's a good chance 25% of that stuff in that article I read yesterday is not accurate, maybe 30%. So we read it together, and I always say, I think you guys know it, I don't try to read junk, but sometimes we do.
Well, you can only display what you find. It's not like you fabricated it. That's my point.
You're right. See, I could go to the Inquirer.com or the Globe.com and read junk from over there. But no, we don't do that. We dig and we dig. And again, I mean, maybe if I would have clicked a few more times, we would have got to something else. I get it, folks. But we're limited on time. I do 10-minute, 12-minute update videos. But I get it. And if we're blatantly wrong on something and something comes out, I will always, we've done it before, admitted that we're wrong. We'd love to do that. Not love, but we have no problem. Years ago, I used to have a problem. Not wrong. I'm always right. And so try to. That's right. Thank you, Al. No one man can be right all the time. That's right.
Quite correct. Nobody's perfect. He's been gone for over 2,000 years. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So draining the swamp. Can you agree that we've been draining the swamp?
Yeah, and that's when President Trump is referring to all the people handing in resignations and so forth, stepping down.
CEOs from across the globe, politicians from out of D.C. and different states, right? I mean, geesh.
Right. And we were talking the other day about, department heads, departments themselves doing an interior fighting, because this is big, people, and it's got to be done a certain way, and they're doing it. President Trump's doing a great job of doing that because he's been very patient. And the neat thing is he lets the Dems hang themselves,
gives them a shovel, really gives them their rope.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all it really is, Great job he's doing. Great job. And by the way, like I say, he always gives people recognition for what they're doing too, It's not like he's, patting himself on the back and this is what I got done and this is what I got done. No, he's pointing people out. These people are working, and they're just like you and me. We're patriots. They want to make our country great too, So they're working hard.
Yep. I mean, I just don't get it, There's a lot of people that aren't paying attention. That's all, folks. Not none of you here, I don't think, in the chat room or on the pop chat. Not most of you that are here tuning in now every episode or so. It's just the people that aren't. The people that aren't here at all. The people that are never in the chat. The people that are never watching the video. Some people take great pride in not paying attention to politics. You know them people, right? Oh, I don't do politics, Woodman, and you can be like, oh, okay, but then sometimes they will get into it. They'll say some stuff like, oh, Trump's a racist, and you're like, oh, why do you think that? Well, that's what I've heard a few times while I walk by a TV, and it is on a news channel, and so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but all you can do is wake them up that you can. Get the ones that will listen, and those who won't, you kind of blow by them, and you hope that somehow, some way down the road, something happens with them.
Well, times are changing people's attitudes also. Remember we was talking earlier about how the country, they're trying to divide the country, but since things are coming down the way that they are, there's a lot of people coming back to the Patriot side because like President Trump said, the Democrats showed the entire world that they're ruthless, they're liars, they cheat, they
abort babies at birth, all that stuff.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh man. And they're showing the world how stupid they are, Well, they are. I mean, come on, they really are, Who in their right mind would do that kind of stuff, man? We're going to see I could see it if, the baby was going to be born with half a head or something, wouldn't even have anything. That's a little different story. But to let a baby be born, still, now listen, the way the law stipulates, if I understood it right, when the baby comes out, they determine if the baby should live or die. And if they kill it, well, then they go ahead and split that one up and sell body parts. It's a big thing.
It's bad.
It happens a lot. That's why those
Planned Parenthoods, Planned Parenthoods
yes,
all around
indeed.
the country, and they're aborting. They say a big majority that go in there are African Americans, black people, and they're killing. It's messed up numbers, folks, if you look at it. All right. I mean, it is. I don't know. And then, like you talk about, they're aborting them at a certain. They can almost like harvest. They call this harvesting because they can tell the girl when to come back because it'll be at the right time that in their little black market computer, what they're looking for something at a certain. We need a 5-month-old leg or 5-month-old or whatever they're doing, and they can kind of like grow these to the certain level and then do the abortion and pull stuff out. Gets really, really disgusting.
Very sick people.
So collusion, delusion. Do you think this could be going down as the biggest political? Yeah, he said collusion, delusion. I have a video named that, I think from 6-7 months ago. Collusion, delusion. I named it, and I was laughing. I was like, man, a lot of these words are coming back. It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Biggest political scandal in history, in our history, maybe. If not just biggest scandal, but it definitely probably one of the biggest political scandals ever.
That's the way I understand it. Also, President Trump had a little speech in front of his people, in front of everybody. A president should never have to go through what he just did. I mean, that is. You're talking about the president of the United States. It's one thing to gather information on somebody, but to try and fabricate things, and then hound him for 2.5 years. Can't find anything. What they wanted to find, they really thought they was going to find something. They really did, and it backfired.
Well, see how you were saying that? Like they really thought they'd find something and they didn't, and it backfired. But they had everything on. Like if you're a fair group of people just investigating crimes, the crime shouldn't matter. Like, well, Trump messing with Russia, that could be serious. You had Hillary. They had this huge. If they wanted a crime just to be doing work and to earn their money, they could have done. They had everything on Hillary right then and there, and they decided not to. So then they're going to go on this crazy witch hunt for looking for something on the next guy and not find nothing after 2 years. It just seems crazy that you dig for 2 years and come up empty-handed, where you would have had to just walk into her face and like pat her body down, and you would have had all this evidence to hang her. So, and you didn't. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, the Dems are protecting her. Now, I don't know. I'm probably wrong here, but there's somebody really high up, I think, used all these people for puppets. But still, the point remains the same. They've done it. They really, truly done it, man. And fabricating stories on the president of the United States, spying, phone tapping. It's different than Watergate. This is about 10 times worse than Watergate. I've never seen anything in the history books anyway. I'm not super smart. I didn't, I go into depth to it, but I don't recall anything like this being done in our country ever in its history. Ever.
Yeah.
Who
recused themselves? Who stepped down from Trump? That was Trump picked him and he recused himself right away after Trump was kind of mad. Not Lindsey Graham, but I don't know. But he was the head of the FBI under Bill Clinton at the time. These people. What's that?
Is that Flynn? Is that Flynn?
Not Flynn. Somebody will come up with it here. I can look myself, but I'm just gonna use the top chatters. I'll give you a shout out if you get it right. So who was the head of? Dang it. What was it? The attorney? Yeah, Jeff Sessions. Was it Jeff Sessions? Can we look up who was the head of the FBI during the Bill Clinton era? Bill Clinton got rid of him right away because Bill Clinton had ongoing investigations when he came into office out of Arkansas. He had all kinds of stuff going on for all the crap he did. And he got rid of the head of the FBI or the head of the, DOJ or something right away. Right away, folks, to shut it down. And, that's what they were claiming Trump was going to do. He's going to get rid of this guy. We need to make laws so he can't. They wanted to stop Trump doing what Bill Clinton did, but Trump never even did it. Never even fired this person or that person like they thought he would. That they're trying to talk him into doing by talking about it before he did it, and he just never did it. So, crazy. Right. But, so...
well, the only one he fired in all that reference point was Comey, correct?
Clinton fired Comey.
They all wanted him fired, didn't they?
do have my phone. It's
until
right
he got fired. Then it was like, whoa.
Well,
They called
that's
him
how
a
they
bad
do it.
guy.
That's just how they do it, folks. Clinton fired Comey in '93.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Nope, right here. Clinton fires Sessions as FBI director July 20th of 1993. President Clinton fired FBI director William S. Sessions yesterday, ending a 6-month drama during which the former federal judge. So there was some issues going on, folks. If you look, did Bill Clinton fire his FBI director one day before Vince Foster died? Yes.
Wow.
So
Well, I was talking about
we've seen this
Trump
before.
firing Comey. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was talking about Trump firing Comey, not Clinton, but this is all it's all history.
Well,
It's
then they talk
recorded.
about Trump and like the issues they're having. Every one of these people, Sessions, well, Sessions recused himself, but you had McCabe and every one of these other people, and they're talking about all their connections with each other and how they've been to this. They donated. The wife was working here, and they all should have recused themselves. That'll all come out, but they were all, it's just crazy that they basically dumped everything that they did onto Trump, projected, and got the talking points out. Now it's going to come back, and everything was exactly what they did. So it was all collusion, delusion. There was collusion. It just wasn't with Trump and his campaign. It was with the DNC and the Clintons, all to cover up for Obama, who again had a pseudonym. They were emailing each other. He lied to the public when they asked him how he found out about Hillary's server, and he's like, well, when you guys broke the news story, that was on TV 3-4 years ago. That's a lie. He knew because he was emailing her. He didn't find out from the media. He found out when he was emailing her himself. Just because, so they lie, folks. They lie. It's scandal after scandal. And we're seeing the result of a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense because this is like a scrambled plan D. The first plan was for him not to win, Hillary to win. When she didn't win, then they really scrambled. And then when, that Admiral Mike Rogers, the guy that overlooked the whole spying system, Woodman, he was in charge of the query system, and he sat down one day to look at all the other people that can access the system in the intelligence communities, and he keeps an eye on all the individuals in the intelligence communities that access it. He can see what computer they're logging in from and how they're searching the system, and he saw a lot of illegal activity going on when he looked into that. So he, without telling anyone, ran over to Trump, candidate Trump at the time, and said, they're spying on you. And then people started systematically quitting in the intelligence communities. These are some of the smartest people that were like, there's no getting away with this. I'm just going to go ahead and quit. Where other political people that aren't so tech savvy are like, no, we're staying for the long haul. They're going to get rid of Trump somehow, some way. I have faith that they'll get rid of him and we'll be fine. Where the technical people, the technical guys kind of like, gigs up. They got all the digital data of this, and our only chance was for Hillary to win so we can keep it buried. But now that she lost, we're losing power. I don't know how to explain it to you, folks. All right. You can do a bunch of crap and keep stuff under the rug, but only if you're safeguarding that room. I don't know. Can you explain that any better, Woodman, than I just did? Or
No, they just can't hide anything anymore. It's just it's too wide exposed, and like President Trump said, this has never happened in our history. It never has. I don't know anybody in the whole world that's going through this kind of weird stuff. I just hope, and I say Democrats all the time. I shouldn't do that. I should just say that
evil
ones.
Because it crosses both lines. There are some Republicans, but the Republicans are a minority group, folks. But it involves them. All right, we got to say deep state, the deep staters, which involves people on the left, people on the right. It really does. But I get caught up in that too sometimes. I'm not a left or a right. I am a constitutionalist. We fight for that. All right. I think they didn't have everything right back then, but they had a lot right. We fixed things that weren't some of the more social issues, but things are on track. Like Trump said, they had wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah, because they were rhinos. So, any questions or anything for Woodman you guys want to ask him? He can't see. I'll have to read it, but if I see anything come in, or for myself, we'll take a next couple of minutes here to maybe take a few questions. We're going on 40 plus minutes. I told Woodman we do about 45-minute show, maybe an hour. So we can go here for the next 5-10 minutes, and then we'll probably shut her down. Again, make sure you're stocked up on all your favorite variety of popcorns. All right, this is exclusive popcorn here. Jalapeno cheese from Wisconsin. All right. Anybody up in the Wisconsin area want to send some popcorn to the P.O. Box, feel free to do so. The link is down below. I'd like to try out some different popcorns from around the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the gourmets, folks, all right? Just some of your local gourmet popcorns. I'm just joking.
Well, I think what you're going to have to do is get probably a case of popcorn, because this is going to last a while, and it's not going to be done in its first 4 years. It's going to continue on, So
yes.
we're going to have a lot of movies coming up. People really,
Somebody just said here, Rob, what is that? Robbie Raw Dog, trying to donate to your channel, but don't let me. Yeah, I think the only thing working for me, guys, is the PayPal, maybe the GoFund. I don't even know if the GoFund's underneath this channel. Let me look. I don't know. I see PayPal. Patreon's down. The channel's down. I don't even see the GoFund. Yeah, it's down there. That might work. I don't know, but thank you. Who was that? Robbie Raw Dog. Trying to donate. Leaking Classified. We got Walk the Talk. Got Dollar Tree popcorn. Haha. Hey, it works. It works.
Popcorn's popcorn.
Popcorn's popcorn, man.
Popcorn. Yep.
Woodman, what do you think about the guy from the UK spying agency? Are we talking about the guy I did a video on for the Yellow Submarine?
You probably done something on the Yellow Submarine about it.
Remember that video that UK guy that was working with John Brennan to spy? Yeah, that's what he's asking about. What do you think about him?
Well, I thought he was an initiator at one time, wasn't he? And kind of bled through
He'll
other
be a
places.
household name.
Yeah.
It'll be a household name there soon. We're talking about Robert Hannigan. He's got to be talking about Robert Hannigan. But yeah, check out my Yellow Submarine video, folks. That bros over Robert Hannigan. Yep, it's Robert Hannigan. John Hannigan. Pretty close, Cooper Kid. Amy the Mod, are y'all having issues with anything? Let me know. I can let Michael know. I think we got a good stream going here. I saw some people saying Robert, no John Hannigan. I don't know John. Check it out, Cooper Kid. Who's John Hannigan? I know of a Robert. Woodman, do you sell paddles we can spank lying liberal butts with? That comes from Frank Boland. Good one, Frank.
I could probably make a machine that would be like a rotary thing and just keep on spinning and slapping, You know what I mean? Stick them in there, it'll be like cattle. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, Jeff Stewart says 5 of 5 here on comms, so we are good and golden, some people. So, Obama's half-brother 3 years ago put up his Kenya birth certificate, so he is in Queen's service, not ours. Stone Hill lady. W. Luna. Do it, Woodman. Start selling the paddles, brother. Air-popped popcorn is healthy for you, very low calorie. How do you have air-popped? What is that, Barry Gibson? Explain. I can look it up. Air-popped. Is that like the old school machines where, no, that's a bucket oil that pops.
No, it's a hot air thing, Instead of a microwave, it's hot air that actually explodes the kernels.
No, PayPal should work, folks. I think I just got a donation earlier today. Maybe it was yesterday. Again, thanks for all the donations the last few days. I believe that's the only thing I've been getting. When I do get something, is like the only thing left. Spank butts until they quiver. I like paddles. No thanks. Like the fat stuff. Okay, so Amish popcorn, no husk.
All right.
I find a lot of Amish. We're close to the Amish. Me and Woodman up here. I find a lot of the food bland. There's lack of flavor. Not that it's not. It's just not even salt and pepper, right? I mean, that's just for some people. I like a good home cooked meal. But I like sometimes a little flavor.
they're not geared up for the fast food Americanized stuff. They still have foundations in the ground, you know. So.
Oh yeah.
American people, yeah.
Mike, have you seen the latest Serial Brain 2 decode confirming Michelle Obama is a tranny? I've known that, I believe. I thought I've known that. I have not seen that video. I will check that out. Serial Brain 2 decode. Haven't done a Serial 2 decode myself in a long time. I like my spices. Serial Brain 2 said Michelle is running the White House and she's a he in his latest. Sheesh.
What, didn't we catch her swinging her meat?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Swing that meat. Swing that meat.
I love pepper on my popcorn. I used to go to a friend's when I was little, and I don't know if anyone else has ever heard of this, but I think his mom popped a bunch of popcorn, and she was doing Kool-Aid on them. Like, we had some that were red, some that were green, and they'd take on the flavor of, and I don't know how you did it, but anyone else ever heard of that? I don't know if that was some kind of almost like a Pinterest back in the early 90s or something, late 80s. So, I don't know.
Wow.
Different flavors of pop. Now I know they got different sprinkles and stuff for popcorn. You could do cinnamon and all the different. But I like pepper as well. I like salt. I like pepper.
Well, we
Jello. Maybe it was Jello. There you go. Maybe it was Jello, and I'm thinking it was Kool-Aid. I never knew. Somebody just put Jello. So you do something with the Jello. That makes more sense. So, thank you, Rachel Lonsway. Yeah, popcorn balls with Jello. Oh, that's the balls, the big balls you can make. But I just remember them being individual pieces of popcorn that somehow had a light dusting, and it might have been Jello, or I thought it was Kool-Aid, but who knows?
Wow.
So I put garlic powder on mine. Very nice, very nice. All right, so we, again, let me check here. Got nothing new on the queue. Still got a couple hundred in the room watching. Woodman, do you want to say anything? You got any words of wisdom? Jello, it was because I did it for my kids. Okay, so confirming that it is Jello. I all agree. I didn't know. That's why I asked. All right, Woodman, any words of encouragement? Where'd you get your hat from? People are asking. If you guys got any last questions, get them to me quick while he's up and on the screen. But go, Woodman, what do you expect in the next couple weeks, or what are you looking for? What do you expect Trump's next move, the deep state's next move? I mean, I don't know.
I got the hat. I got the hat at a gun show. I'm proud to say that.
Nice.
What's going to happen in the near future? What am I looking for? Well, let's see. We've already got the gist of what we're going to be looking for. The neat thing is, it's all going to fall into our lap. President Trump doesn't really have to do anything except for collect info. Now, here's the thing, though. See, because a lot of the security heads, department heads, are involved in this scandal. So it's going to be rough. Like I say, the departments are going to fight amongst themselves, but the truth's going to come out because it has to. They can't hide it forever. So, you know, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to take a while, but like President Trump said, you know, he's draining the swamp faster than anybody ever thought he would, and which is true. He's not doing it leaving a void behind either. So, and he reminds all of us all the time, this is our country. It's about time we take our country back for us. What one thing he said? How do you say it? Oh, in our country, we don't worship government; we worship God, and
That's right.
that's true. That's very true. And he said that he released that. That's he has a right way of saying the right thing, people, and he's actually, uh, according to a politician, he's a commoner, just like you and I. It's just that he was just happened to be a rich guy that knew a lot of people. They look at him like a commoner. He's not a politician. Uh, he shouldn't have a key to the executive room. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how they're looking at it now. Now everything's starting. The whistles are being blown, and everybody's covers being shown. And like he said too, they can't run fast enough. But pretty soon they're going to be against themselves also. The deep state, you're never going to totally eliminate it, because this is going to go to a different country, like they've been going all over the place. We're just going to have to clean up our neck of the woods. Our government,
And that will help.
needs.
That'll help other places
government-
naturally by ours being cleaned up. It'll cut off a lot of ties. Evil will always come back, won't it, Woodman? That's why we got to stay vigilant. Keep one eye on the evil. Never, you don't just clean up house. House always has to be cleaned, right? Maintained.
All the time. Yep.
Maintained.
All the time.
So, and if you don't maintain it, what happens? It gets real filthy. Then you got a lot of work to do. So that's where we're at right now. Now we're going to keep maintaining. The Patriot Hour will be here with people like Woodman, Scott, Ben. We have plans to go bigger and beyond more. Have live shows with them coming out a little bit more often. Hopefully, a couple days a week we can have our. Keep an eye on that future administration, whether it be Trump or the next administration, and always report on facts and what we believe to be. If they're doing wrong, we're going to call it out. We have no shame. So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'll give you a few more seconds here to tell the people anything, words of encouragement, like I guess you were, or just a.
Well,
let me look at if there's any comments.
Keep in mind, people, that 90% of the news networks are fake news. Just keep that in mind, because for 2.5 years, they've been saying all kinds of wrong crap about the president. Hannity come out and corrected it, and he even apologized. He made a lot of good points, about that kind of stuff. So, back to what I'm saying is, there's probably going to be 90% of the stuff you see on television as far as news goes that's not going to be correct. They're still controlled by deep states. There's a lot of them. And we all watch them. I'm not saying everything they say is wrong. I'm just saying that they might slip 15 or 20% of correct news in there. They're as long as these news people and the Dems, or I shouldn't say Dems, but these people, as long as they keep the attention off of them, they think they have a chance to slide out somewhere. But now, like Hannity, he wants more real news. They talk about leaks. Well, the leaks are not right because they're going to the wrong people and there's the wrong information. So they're gonna let that fly out. But like I say, you're gonna have to watch what's going on and pay attention, because there's going to be a lot of fake news, especially now because they've been had, and they got to do everything they can to get out of it, and it's just not going to work, but they're going to do it. They're going to do everything they can, which anybody would. Would. You get your hands caught in the cookie jar, you're going to do everything to get out of it.
These are the people that have decided they're going down with the ship, right? They've decided already, and the ship's sinking, but they're going to go down with it. Folks, that was Woodman. We really appreciate him coming on. He's going to be on more this week. We're going to get back to doing our at least our live shows at least a couple days a week. All right. We just had, for me, this spring was a little bit rough. I had lots to do, things to catch up on, but you understand that. All right. So again, we want to make sure that we cover couple things here I wanted to say. I just wanted to say again, Trump is doing a good job, right? I had gotten this hat from the Trump team. I ordered it from them directly. It's an official. Got the gourmet popcorn. Again, I'm excited to try the jalapeno cheese popcorn. And that sea salt caramel. I'm saving those, all right? Clinton, Comey, Brennan, some of the bad actors, bad apples going down, like Trump said. We expect lots, all right? Here in the next few weeks, we're going to get the IG report from Horowitz, Huber, everything that's been going on, how the FBI, DOJ handled their, this mess of what they had, a couple of high-level, the rank and file, good people, all right? Rank and file, good guys. A lot of them are patriots. A lot of them are ex-military. A lot of them are just smart, graduated people that, got degrees and are some of the best in our country to do these jobs, all right? They do their work. But it shows, this has been showing, Trump's been showing, this administration has been showing that it only takes 4 to 5 people at the head of some agency to really, really totally corrupt it, to really mess it up, to ruin things, all right, to make it look really bad. And that's unfortunate, and that's the kind of stuff we can't, Trump had the right, and it's nothing that he wrote up. It wasn't some kind of law that he put in when he came in. But when you find the heads of these agencies to be corrupt, to be, to find what you found out, you can shut them down completely. Now that would have looked really bad, right? He comes in, he's already got all this talk of Russia, and he's Hitler, and man, he starts shutting down these, I'm shutting down the CIA, I'm shutting down the DOJ, and I'm going to shut down the FBI. What is he doing? This is chaotic. So that's what they were wanting him to do. They wanted him to fire people, they wanted him to shut down things, and he did none of it. He did it in this organic, natural, slow will of justice type of way, and we've all been diligent waiting, and now the time has finally come. It's weeks away, I believe, folks. It's systematic. I can't give you dates. I don't want to give you dates. I don't want to even pretend to give you dates. I just want to say keep your eyes open and your ears peeled, because it's coming, all right? Get your popcorn ready for sure. Again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. Again, folks, think for yourselves. Think yesterday, day before, I did a video, got a little something wrong, read an article. Don't do it. I don't ever do that to be malicious or on purpose. It's just articles that we read together, all right? And we're all using our connecting of the dots and, trying to get the bigger picture. And sometimes we read things that just are not correct. So I will watch that video over again and probably do a little bit more talking on it on another video later on tonight or tomorrow. But again, make sure you subscribe. Take a look down below. I appreciate all the shares and likes across the platforms while we can. And I'll play this Trump video one more time on our way out so you guys can hear it again. Pay attention closely and enjoy your evening. God bless, Godspeed, each and every one of you worldwide.
The bad guys aren't giving up their guns. And you're not going to be giving up your guns either. And our nation is greater today than it has ever been. Stronger, richer, we're doing better than ever before. We are great Americans. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you. We believe in the rule of law, and we will always protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And there are some people that are running right now, I don't think they have that number one on their list. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we believe in the right to self-defense and the right to protect your family, your community, and your loved ones. We believe in the wisdom of our founders, and we believe in freedom and liberty and the right to keep and bear arms. We know that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Every day of my administration, we are taking power out of Washington, D.C., and returning it to the American people where it belongs. And you see it now better than ever with all of the resignations of bad apples. They're bad apples. They tried for a coup. It didn't work out so well. And I didn't need a gun for that one, did I? All was taking place at the highest levels in Washington, D.C. You've been watching, you've been seeing, you've been looking at things that you wouldn't have believed possible in our country. Corruption at the highest level, a disgrace. Spying, surveillance, trying for an overthrow, and we caught him. We caught him. Who would have thought in our country? But it's called what we all together have done. Started 2.5 years ago on that great November 8th. That was a great day. Remember that day? Great day. And in a 1.5 years, we have one called November 3rd. It's November 3rd this time. Get ready to vote. You better. You better get ready to vote. But it's all called draining the swamp. And we are doing it faster than anyone ever thought possible. Very proud of it. America's future has never been brighter. And yet Democrats have never been angrier, especially now that their collusion delusion has been exposed to the world as a complete and total fraud. It's been the greatest political hoax ever in our country. Instead of working with us to rebuild our infrastructure, lower drug prices, which, by the way, this year, for the first time in 50 years, drug prices went down. Far-left radicals in Congress want to take away your voice, your jobs, your rights, and they especially want to take away your guns. You know that. They want to take away your guns. You better get out there and vote. And confiscating existing guns from law-abiding citizens. What they don't tell you is the bad guys aren't giving up their guns. And you're not going to be giving up your guns either.